Hello everyone, my name's Cliff and welcome back to my channel. This is Cliff's Dark Gems. And if you're new here, welcome for the first time. Yeah, and tonight I'm just going to do a quick update of all the books I've been reading and read for the month of March. So stay tuned. Okay everyone, so March has been a better month for me. February was a bit of a disaster. It's only 6 books. So yeah, it's halfway through the month right now. I've read 4 books and I'm busy with my 5th book. Well, it's not really a book, I'll show you now. But yeah, I'm doing a lot better. I'm feeling better, which is the most important thing. But I'm not going to be giving huge long reviews for each of these books. I have done for one already. So I'm just going to be talking about what I read, and then for the monthly wrap-up, I'm going to say stuff in more detail and talk about each book. So yeah. Okay, we're going to start up for what I'm reading right now, and that is Creepshow, comic people, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute, because of my next book. But yeah, this is awesome, the movie's awesome, I love the artwork, Stephen King and George Romero, and yeah, I've only read the first 2 stories. There's 5 stories in all. One is Father's Day. I want my cake. Father's Day. I'm not going to give any spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie or read the comic, highly advise you to do so. It's a lot of silly, goofy, but also kind of scary, creepy, fun. But yeah, that's Creepshow. And yeah, the other story is The Lonely Death. Or is it The Lonely Death? The Lonesome Death of Geordie Verrill. Now, in the movie, it stars Stephen King. He actually plays the main character. So that's a lot of fun. Yeah, that's Creepshow. Okay, now for the books that I've read. And I am doing this in ascending order from my least favorite to my favorite. Now I've just read Brian Keene, Urban Gothic. Now people, I've read Brian Keene before. There was a Rising, which is a highly original take on the zombie apocalypse kind of thing, and it was brilliant. This book, not so much. Look, I did expect it to be kind of gory, horror. I did expect it to be kind of fun, gory horror. But this is pure splatterpunk, people. It is nasty, it is disgusting, it is vile. And yeah, and it's kind of repetitive because I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, it's these teenagers and they go into this house apparently escaping this African American gang because they're kind of in the hood part of town, and yeah, they're beset upon by, I'm not even going to say what, you can figure it out, and it's vile, it's disgusting. And it's repetitive in terms of running and screaming and dying and blood and guts, and it just goes, wow. I was just like, okay, I don't mind that, but I need a story, and most importantly I need characters that I can care about. These teenagers sucked. They were one-dimensional. There was absolutely no character development. These teenagers go into the house, yeah, it's just, you don't care for them, and you really don't care if they live or die. There's another aspect to the story where sort of help from the outside trying to get in. Yeah, and also just this place. Look, I can't see it in my imagination while I'm reading it. It's just weird. So yeah, no plot, no story. I still gave it 3 stars because it is freaking vile, and at times the horror is top notch. The writing's pretty good. Just wish I cared about the characters, that's all. But yeah, that is Urban Gothic. Enter at your own risk, people. Check all your trigger warnings, check everything you need to check, because sometimes it's almost like it's just disgusting for being the sake of being disgusting. Okay, next up I read The Sign of the Four, which I gave 4 stars to. It's by, yeah, that's a Sherlock Holmes book by Arthur Conan Doyle. And yeah, I want to tell you before I talk about this book, it's very interesting. I bought this book at a second-hand a second-hand bookshop. And yeah, I was reading The Sign of the Four, and I was getting into it. Because the Sherlock Holmes books, for me, so far, they start off slow, and then you get intrigued, you get into the mystery, and then it picks up pace, and it's actually a lot of fun. And I was on page 132, and I read to the end. I started reading page 254 or 213. This is what I bought, people. This is, I don't know if you can see, I literally bought a book, 4 novels from Sherlock Holmes for $1. And you get 2 3/4 novels, because part of the next story is missing as well. So you got the first novel, you got the 4th novel, and there's a huge chunk missing. And I'm going, what the hell? Luckily, it's available for free online. So I did finish the story, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. Okay, so this is actually a very exciting novel, Sherlock Holmes novel. So it's a murder mystery. It's about a wronged woman, and it's about a missing treasure that actually should belong to her. And yeah, she gets kind of screwed over. But it's kind of complex. But yeah, it's action-packed. And at the end, there's this chase sequence. I'm not going to go into spoilers. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And it's obviously about Sherlock Holmes, dissecting the case, figuring out what's going on, what's missing. And it's about this group known as the Four. And I'm not going to go into any details. But I thoroughly enjoyed this novel. A lot more than I thought I would. It's classic. But the thing about classics, sometimes you start reading and it's really slow and you don't know if you want to keep going. But if you do keep going, the kind of story grabs you, then it kind of picks up pace. And that's what it does with this book and with the other Sherlock Holmes books I've read. And it was a great climax. It really built to a great climax. Yeah, good climax. Sherlock Holmes. Okay, next up we got The Fisherman by John Langan. Now, I did a full review on this book like a week ago, so I'm not going to say too much. Except for, yeah, it's a story within a story. Actually, no. As my one friend pointed out in the comments, it's a story within a story, within a story within a story, with multiple points of views. So it's very much a layered thing. And I did really enjoy it, but I found the middle part to drag a bit. But if my overall rating was 4 stars, I thought it was an excellent cosmic horror novel and a grief horror novel. And that's all I'm going to say, because I'm going to link my review at the end, so check that out if you want to read this book. Okay, and finally my 5-star read so far, but it's a reread. It's 5-star, and I enjoyed it even better the second time, and that is The Dark Tower, the drawing of the 3, part 2 of The Dark Tower. And this is a beautiful edition. I'm going to show you some illustrations later. I don't want to spoil anything, but in the first book, you're thrown into this world, right? It's unanswered questions, there's mysteries that aren't explained, and you kind of just have to go along for the ride. At times it's surreal, with this one character, Roland, a mysterious gunman, the last gunslinger. And yeah, this book, however, is absolutely action-packed. Explodes the story, and yeah, from the very first few chapters, it's just the pacing, you notice straight away, it's just so different. There's none of this kind of slow, surreal kind of travel, where am I, who am I, what am I. This book just cuts to the chase. And yeah, he draws, without giving any spoilers, he's drawing other characters, right? So I'm not really spoiling anything. You can see other characters there. And just as he drew the boy Jake, well, let's not go back there to part 1, but he's drawing these very, very fascinating characters. I'm not going to say from where, but yeah, I absolutely love these characters, and you get to know them, and they're truly unique. And yeah, I don't want to say too much without spoiling, because if you're new to the series, you've got to read the first book first. All I want to say is that I want to encourage you. You know, maybe at the end of the month I'll do a proper review of this and the first book. All I want to say to you is that you need to start the series. It's an awesome series. A lot of people call this the best book out of the lot, and that's saying something. I think the third one is, so I can't wait to get started next month. But yeah, that is the drawing of the 3 by Stephen King, Dark Tower series. Oh, and I'm never going to think about lobsters, and you will never think about lobsters in the same way ever again. Lobstrosities. Dada chick, dada chum. If you know, you know. Dada chick, dada chum. Okay everyone, so that's me for tonight. Yeah, I've had quite a busy weekend. Lots of rugby union on. That's my thing, you know, the Six Nations. I love it when the countries play each other. It's awesome. And yeah, please let me know if you read those stories, if you read the books. If you're joining us on the Discord, I'll put that down below like I always do. And yeah, let me know what you think about these books. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to have a conversation with you down below. Take care of yourselves. Keep those pages turning. And cheers.